Valve is a company that, so many gamers know and love. They're the creators of the massive PC gaming store called Steam. Steam is where millions of people buy, download, and play their favorite computer games every single day. Valve also makes legendary games, including titles like Half-Life and Counter-Strike. But Valve doesn't just make software, they also create hardware. You might have heard of their virtual reality headset, the Valve Index, or their popular handheld gaming PC, the Steam Deck. They have a long history of trying new and exciting things in the world of gaming, always pushing the boundaries of what's possible. This isn't the first time Valve has tried to bring PC gaming directly into the living room. About a decade ago, they launched a project called Steam Machines. The idea was simple but ambitious. Create a range of gaming computers that worked like a console, such as a PlayStation or Xbox. These machines were built by different companies, but all ran on Valve's own operating system, SteamOS. The goal was to give players the massive library of Steam games with the ease and comfort of playing on a couch in front of a big television screen. It was a bold move to challenge the established console giants. Unfortunately, the Steam machines did not become the huge success Valve had hoped for. There were a few reasons for this. The version of SteamOS they used back then couldn't play all the games that were available on Windows, which confused many buyers. Another issue was the special Steam controller. It was a very unusual controller that used trackpads instead of the familiar analog sticks, and many players found it difficult to get used to. Because of these challenges, the Steam machines faded away, and Valve seemed to focus its efforts on other projects for a while. Now, it seems like Valve is ready to try again, but this time they're much better prepared. The company has learned a lot since the days of the original Steam machines. Their experience with the Steam Deck has been a massive success, showing that they can build powerful and popular gaming hardware that people truly want to use. The software, SteamOS, has also improved dramatically and can now play thousands of Windows games without any issue thanks to a clever technology called Proton. This sets the stage for a much stronger and more compelling return to the living room console market. Recently, some exciting information appeared online that has gamers buzzing. A new device made by Valve was spotted on a website called Geekbench, which is used to test the performance of computer hardware. This new device has a codename, Fremont. Codenames are temporary, secret names that companies use for their projects before they are officially announced to the public. The appearance of Fremont in a public benchmark test is a strong hint that Valve is actively developing and testing a new piece of gaming hardware that could be released in the future. It's the first real clue we've had about Valve's next big project. The Geekbench listing for Fremont gave us our first look at what might be inside this new console. The leak revealed that the test device is powered by a 6-core, 12-thread processor. This is the brain of the console, and having 6 cores means it can handle many tasks at once, which is great for modern games. The processor was also running at a speed of 3.2 GHz, which is quite fast. This kind of power suggests that Fremont is being designed to play demanding PC games smoothly, delivering a high-quality experience that gamers expect from a dedicated home console. Another important detail from the leak was the amount of memory, or RAM, the device has. The Fremont unit that was tested had 8 GB of DDR5 RAM. RAM is like the device's short-term memory. It holds all the data the processor needs to access quickly while you're playing a game. More RAM generally means the console can handle bigger game worlds and more complex graphics without slowing down. The type of memory, DDR5, is also very important because it's the latest and fastest kind available, promising excellent performance for new and upcoming titles that will demand more resources. Perhaps the most surprising part of the leak was the operating system. The Fremont device was benchmarked running Windows 11 Pro. This is unusual because Valve's other hardware, like the Steam Deck, runs on their own Linux-based SteamOS. Using Windows for a test makes some sense, as it allows engineers to easily compare performance with other PCs. However, most people believe that the final version of the console will almost certainly run a new version of SteamOS, which is specially designed for a seamless console-like gaming experience that boots directly into your game library. When we look at the leaked specifications for Fremont, It's natural to compare them to Valve's current gaming handheld, the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck has been incredibly successful, and it gives us a good baseline for what to expect. The processor in Fremont, with its 6 cores, appears to be a significant step up from the Steam Deck's 4-core processor. This extra processing power could mean that Fremont will be able to run games at higher resolutions and frame rates, making it a much more powerful machine designed for the big screen of a television rather than a small handheld display. However, one specification that raised some eyebrows was the 8 GB of RAM listed for Fremont. This is actually less than the 16 GB of RAM found inside every model of the Steam Deck. This seems strange for a new home console that is expected to be more powerful. Why would Valve put less memory in a brand new device? This has led many to believe that the Fremont unit that was tested is just an early prototype. It's very common for companies to use different components during development to test performance and costs before deciding on the final specifications. It is almost certain that the technical details of Fremont will change before it is ever released to the public. The 8 GB of RAM is likely just a placeholder for testing purposes, and the final consumer model will probably have 16 GB, or perhaps even more, to ensure it is future-proof. Valve will want to make sure their new console can comfortably handle the next several years of game releases. They may also make adjustments to the processor or other components based on the results of these early performance tests, aiming to find the perfect balance between power, heat, and price for a living room device. The goal for Fremont is likely different from that of the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck is all about portability, allowing you to play your PC games anywhere. Fremont, on the other hand, seems poised to be a dedicated home console. This means it won't need a built-in screen or battery, allowing Valve to put all of its cost and design focus into raw performance. It could be a small, quiet, and powerful box that sits under your TV, offering a premium, high-fidelity gaming experience that bridges the gap between PC gaming flexibility and console simplicity. The possibility of a new Valve console is incredibly exciting for the gaming community. It signals Valve's serious commitment to creating a complete gaming ecosystem that spans handheld, desktop, and living room play. A device like Fremont could offer the best of both worlds. It would provide the ease of use and couch-friendly experience of a traditional console like a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. At the same time, it would grant access to the enormous and often cheaper library of games available on Steam, including countless indie games and PC exclusives that never come to other consoles. This new console could have a major impact on the future of home gaming. For years, the console market has been dominated by Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. The arrival of a powerful and competitively priced console from Valve could shake things up significantly. It would give gamers another fantastic option to choose from, potentially driving more competition and innovation across the entire industry. If Fremont is successful, it could popularize the idea of open gaming platforms in the living room, where players are not locked into a single company's store or subscription service to enjoy their games. Even with the exciting leak, there's still so much we don't know about Fremont. The final design of the console is a complete mystery. Will it be a small, sleek box like an Apple TV, or something larger and more distinct? We also don't know what kind of controller it will ship with. After the experimental Steam controller, fans are hoping Valve will create a more traditional gamepad that feels great to use. And of course, the two biggest questions of all are about the price and the release date, which will ultimately determine how successful the console can be. Ultimately, the Fremont leak has filled the gaming world with anticipation and hope. Fans are dreaming of a powerful, affordable console that seamlessly integrates with their existing Steam libraries. They're imagining a future where they can easily switch between playing a game on their Steam Deck while on the bus, and then continuing that same game on their big screen TV at home using the Fremont console. While we wait for an official announcement from Valve, one thing is clear. The company that changed PC gaming forever might be about to do the same for console gaming all over again.